Hey, you're listening to the Burnt Out Entrepreneur podcast, where you'll learn why you're feeling so burnt out, some insights and hacks to get you along this entrepreneurial journey. I'm Kylie Yota, former oil and gas manager turned health coach, life coach, and business mentor for female entrepreneurs just like you, and help them heal and recover from burnout. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Burnt Out Entrepreneur podcast. Today, I'm talking with the fresh princess of email marketing, It is Liz Wilcox. Oh my goodness. I am a member of her email marketing membership, which we will get to in a second. But I just wanted to say that just ever since meeting Liz and being in her community, just the way that she approaches email marketing is so fresh. She's a fresh princess. But I just love her, and I know you guys are going to love her too. So buckle in, get ready, because we're going to talk about email marketing and burnout and why, why you need to do certain things in your email marketing. So without further ado, welcome, Liz. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, I cannot wait to talk about email. It's my favorite topic, and spoiler alert, nobody in my personal life wants me to go on and on about electronic mail. So thanks for tuning in today. Let's get into it.
Yes. So, right, I mentioned the email marketing membership, but right before you started the membership, you were doing a whole lot of other things. So why don't you just give us the backstory of how you became, you turned into an RV super blogger, and like how you ended up creating an email marketing membership.
Yeah, so I started off as an RV travel blogger, totally different than what I do now. And I think a little different than if you listen to some other email marketers. They usually start off as copywriters, kind of earning their chops or whatever the phrase is under somebody who's already making money online. I started off as this lowly little blogger in my RV. I didn't even have internet on my phone when I started. I used to go to like laundromats, and shout out to Lowe's parking lot. They have the best free Wi-Fi. And that's how, I started learning about online business. And everybody and their mother, would listen to awesome podcasts like Kylie's, go to webinars, see Facebook ads, and everybody was saying, for nothing else, you have to build your email list. All this content, all the blogs, all the social media, Facebook Lives, it's to funnel everybody into your email list and then sell to that email list. So mama didn't raise no fool. I said, okay, I got to build this email list. So right off the bat, the day I launched my website was the day I launched my email list. And after a few months of creating content, I learned, the best way to make money online is to create your own product and sell it to that email list. So again, I'm an efficient chick. I created my first product, I think about 6 or 7 months into my business, and it went really well. I made something like $7,000 in the first 90 days. And I want to side note and tell you what the product is. Normally that's not relevant, but I swear you're going to laugh. I want this to be inspiration as you're listening. Maybe you're driving or doing the dishes right now, you're probably thinking, oh, my product has to be this huge, super valuable, top notch, better than anybody ever did it before type of product. Y'all, I am here to tell you my very first digital product, wait for it, was a book about poop. I don't know if Kylie knew that. Did you know that? Okay, she knew. She's nodding her head. Okay, so I mentioned that, just let it be inspiration to you. You can make money doing anything, okay? Have y'all ever heard of the poopery lady? That lady's worth like $100 million, okay? So you of course you want to provide value, but hit the pressure relief valve on yourself, okay? So, it made $7,000 in 90 days. It got picked up by an international sponsor. I guarantee you, whatever your idea is, it's better than my idea. So you're going to make money with it if you just believe in yourself and, you build that email list up. The reason why it made money was because I was selling directly to this email list, which we're going to talk about some strategies later. But, fast forward a few years, I launched something like a dozen digital products in that time. And I actually went to a copywriting event and, lots of copywriters there. And they're like, who are you? Who's this lady wearing an NSYNC t-shirt and this crazy headband? And, I'm telling them my story. And my big claim to fame at the time was I had launched a digital course, my very first digital course. I had 141 people on the wait list. And by the time I launched it, did the Monday through Friday thing, I had made 141 sales. So I'm telling these copywriters this. And if you don't know, the average conversion rate is what, Kylie? Like 1 to 5%, maybe 10 if you're really good, right?
Yeah.
So, this everybody bought. And they're like, that's not, you didn't do that. What? Who is this lady? And that's when I knew, that was the moment I knew, okay, I know something you don't know type of thing, but not in like a catty way, but like I have to get out here and spread the word. I imagine this is like how a pastor feels when he gets the Spirit of God in him. I was like, what? Y'all aren't seeing these results? I've got to change my ways.
Yeah.
And so I sold that business. I went all in on email marketing, teaching the strategies that I was using. And I don't know what, you're listening to this. I don't know your current circumstances, but everything that I was doing was in the margins of life, right? It was, I don't have time to build a funnel. I don't have time to do all this sorts of customer research and get on the phone and this and that. I've got 20 minutes and, a semi okay-ish Wi-Fi connection. What am I going to do right now in this moment? And so all the strategies we're going to talk about, Kylie and me today, are built from, I don't have a lot of time, but I've got to see results. I have no other choice. So hopefully that helps you today.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, one, you have a lot going on, right? And you're a single mom too, right? And so, there's a lot of, how to say, excuses that come up, for a lot of business owners, like, well, I'm too busy for this. I'm too busy for that. I mean, well, you're not like living in an RV with spotty Wi-Fi, having to hang out in a Lowe's parking lot, trying to build your business. And so I'm so glad that, Liz, you're here today to kind of, dispel the myths that you have to, like leave your 9 to 5, like go all in on your business, or else your business isn't worth anything, because there are some business coaches who say, well, if you're not serious about your business, and you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's so much shame attached to that. Like, well, if you're not going all in on your business, then like, yes, we can use pockets of time. I mean, right, like I told you today, like I used a pocket of time to go to Costco today to go pick up some eggs because of the egg shortage. Like, you just have to do what you have to do in the time that you have. And I love that you talked about that today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to say, I want to say one thing,
Yes.
we've all heard that thing about, oh, well, we have the same 24 hours in a day as Beyonce. False. Beyonce has about 100 employees, I'm sure. Like she's got an assistant, her assistant has an assistant, ... right? We
Yeah.
do not have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. She has an army behind her. Maybe, you have a pile of dishes behind you, right? And just because you can't work and you can't, necessarily hustle all day long in your business, like now I do work in my business. It's my full-time thing. My kid is in school. When I started, she wasn't, and I had to use those pockets of time. And it was just about finding, for me, especially if we're going to talk about burnout, finding the most efficient ways of doing things and also finding what is fun for you, right? It was my book about poop. That was me not taking myself too seriously. It was me gathering fun stories about crappy moments in RV life. That was not a struggle. I wasn't trying to write a how-to book. That would have taken so much time. I would have needed an editor and this and that and fact checking and weeks researching and double checking to make sure I'm not going to get sued if I give the wrong information. I was doing what was fun and efficient. And I think
Yes.
that really helps avoid the burnout, especially if you are trying to start your business. If you're in those first few years and you're like, oh, I got to make this click, but I don't have a lot of time, right? If you can come up with a way to make it fun and efficient, oh my gosh, you're going to succeed. So it's over for everybody else. You got it going on.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I came up with the burnout archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone is saying you need to do business this way. And like I've joined a lot of different programs, as I'm sure a lot of people listening, and it's like, well, you need to build your business this way, follow this model, do what I do, and you may be following someone, or you may be in someone's program who is nothing like you, and you're trying to follow that model, and that's why it's not working, because it's not fun for you. Like if you hate showing up on Facebook Live, but that's the crux of the program that you signed up for, of course it's not going to work for you. Or say you take an email marketing course and you hate writing. Well, thanks to Liz, like I don't hate writing anymore, but for me, writing was that thing where I'm like, like I could pop on, open my camera and just start talking and I'll be done. Done. That's another reason why I started this podcast, because it's so fun for me, you know. But having to sit down and write, those, thank God for Reels. I can shoot a video. I don't have to write, long form content as much anymore. I can just show my face. Thank God for that, But, there's different strokes for different folks. And like, just to reiterate what Liz says, if it's not fun, it will not get done. And that's why I love the EMM, or email marketing membership, because, Liz will send out an email template for us every Monday, and all we have to do is open it. And it's so good. I'm shouting you out right now, but it's so good. So what happens is you get the template. She even sends out a little email, like the why behind the what, why you're writing this email. And there's a video every week. Okay. So you watch the video and you're like, okay, I think I can do this. And not only does she give you a template, but she also gives you 2 examples from 2 totally different industries. And it's right. It's not just a coaching template, or like, because there's so many different types of businesses that are represented in EMM. And she has 2 different examples, and you can just pull from that and say, oh, this is how they use the template in their business. And it's so refreshing, and just to see how the 2 different businesses have taken the original template and restructured it, put their own spin on it, their own vibe, their own personality on it. I'm like, oh, I can do it too. And that's what I love the most about being an EMM member, is having that freedom and that flexibility to be my own self when I'm using the templates. Like I've bought a lot of templates before, and it's, I don't know, just the way that it's set up, it's not really set up to express one's own personality. And that's just why I love being an EMM member.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to hire Kylie as my sales rep. That's great. Yeah. And I think the whole point, to bring it back about having fun, and I know for my audience, like Kylie, confess, like writing is not my favorite thing. And so when I create any product, especially the templates within the membership, I think about Kylie. I know she doesn't like this. What can I do to make this also, easy, simple, fun, and efficient for my customer as well, right? And then everybody has fun. You grow your business in a fun way, and you escape the burnout, right? To bring it all back. So thank you so much for sharing that about the membership. That brings me so much joy. Truly.
Yeah. Speaking of the membership, how did you, because I want people to understand the beauty of how you created the membership. And yeah, it's $9 a month, okay? So I want Liz to talk about some of her recent launches and tell you exactly how much money she's made from a $9 membership.
Yeah, so I've made quite a bit, I will say humbly. So of course, when I sold my first business, I went all in on the email thing, but I knew I needed money up front, right? And so I was doing done for you copywriting, and that just wasn't as fun for me. It was, while it was high ticket, I was charging $5,000, $7,000 here and there for things. It was like $2,000 for a day with me. That just felt like a lot of responsibility. Again, it wasn't fun. And so I sat down to write my newsletter one day and I thought, how can I get people like Kylie? I know she needs email, but I know I can barely convince her because she hates writing so much, that type of thing. And that's when I came up with, okay, I'll just write it for you. We just talked about how can I make this fun and efficient for me and my people? And what is the price point that I can get the maximum amount of people to say, okay, Liz, I'll trust you for 1 month. I'm still very skeptical. I've tried templates before. It's still me having to think and write. I still don't like them, but sure, you got a cool headband, you like and sync. I'll give you a try. What's that price, right? And for me, it was $9. And the membership at the time of this recording is about to turn 2 years old. I have over 2,700 members, so you can do the math. But as far as the launches go, again, I've kept the offer so simple that it's also simple for me to launch. So I started launching this annual membership. And so Kylie mentioned she went to Costco. Kylie, do you pay a membership fee to get into Costco?
Yes.
Do you know how much it is?
Like $50 or something?
It's so cheap, right? It's like $50 for the year. So when I heard that Costco charges Kylie and, let's say a million bajillion other people $50 a year to get inside, and then basically they're basically giving away almost everything at cost, and they're losing money on items too. When I heard that Costco, this gigantic international company, makes almost all their profit from that $50 Kylie gives them every single month, I thought, well, why can't I do that? That sounds easy. Right. And so with the membership, the annual rate is basically you give me that membership fee for a year, $108, 9 times 12, 100. Like I said, if it's hard, I ain't doing it. It's like, no, I'm not going to. Then I give you every single other product for free. If you sign up for a year inside my membership, if you say, yes, Liz, I'm willing to give you 12 months of $9, Liz Wilcox says, yes, I'm willing to give you everything else. And for me, it was just relating it. Okay, if Costco, which has to purchase land, pay rent, pay taxes, they've got millions of employees, all of this, if they can profit off a $50 membership, dang it, little Liz Wilcox can do it with $108, and I can afford to give away everything else.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was thinking about how can I just make this simple? In my personal life, I can't afford to burn out. I have a lot of people that depend on me financially. I have 3 leases in my name. I'm a single mom. People are rooting for me in my personal life. I cannot afford to burn out. And so this was a way of getting a quick lump of cash, very simply. Hey, it's a simple offer. You give me $108. You don't have to spend a dime with me for 12 months. That is it. Think Costco, baby. That's what I was telling people. And it's turned into this really amazing thing. I did a launch in November 2022, and I made $126,000. Oh my gosh, Kylie, I don't know if I even told you that yet. It's so nuts. It's so wild to me. And honestly, the majority of that month, I did work a little more in those 30 days. But really the week that the sale was really going on was Black Friday week, Thanksgiving in the US. I was at my best friend's house just chilling. I was using emails that I had been using, from the past. So the first time I launched it, Black Friday 2021, I said, oh, I'm only going to sell 100 because I wanted to see how it went. I made like $12,000 in 2 hours. I launched it again a few weeks later to give you the numbers that Kylie asked for a few weeks later, because everyone was like, wait, what? This lady's crazy. I got to buy this before she changes her mind. So I opened it again. I made, I think, 25,000. I opened it a few months later. I made 48,000. I did a 48-hour flash sale in July. I made 36,000. It was a little lower, but it was a 48-hour flash sale. And it was 3 weeks after I suffered a very severe concussion. So I could not work. The only thing I could do was say, hey, this is coming, and, copy and paste the emails that I had sent in March. And I only sent, now these emails, the money I'm making that I'm telling you about, only was sent to the people that had joined the wait list. This was not even sent to my full email list. So that 36,000 was only sent to like 200 people. And then I had some affiliates. And then I did the big launch in November. I was feeling better from my concussion. I got some really good affiliates in the mix. I had people renewing from the year before. So of course, it's building on itself now, right?
Yeah.
And so I made that 126,000, which is great, y'all. I used to tell people I'm just a lady in an RV, but now I'm like, I'm just a lady with a Mountain Dew and a dream.
Yeah.
And so
a headband.
And a headband and a cool headband. But what I really want everyone to get, like, as you're listening, that was building on itself. This is taken, you're not just going to come out of the bat, like having an amazing email list that allows you to do these things. But really what Kylie and I were talking about, like, how can I make this fun? How can I make this efficient for me? What works for Liz is not going to work for Kylie, is not going to work for you, right? You might think, oh my gosh, okay, 126,000 divided by 108. Oh my gosh, that's over 1,000 people she has to serve. That might give you anxiety to think about. So you might like a more high ticket one-on-one type of thing. And that might be your style. To me, working one-on-one scares me to death. I can't stand it. So think about what's fun and efficient for you. And then once you get that, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit, baby. Like, I believe in you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you mentioned a couple of things, and thank you for sharing your numbers and, why you switched the business model. I mean, bottom line is, if it's not fun, it won't get done. And how do I segue into this? Because when we have our calls and whatever every month. Oh yeah, I forgot that part. There is a group coaching call with Liz every month. So if you have questions about email, she's there too. Like, so she shows up for us once a month. It's not just the templates. But the one thing that you always tell us that if we don't have, like, we're crazy if we're not starting there. So what's that number one thing you always tell us to do in the membership?
Yeah. So, I mentioned earlier, like, you're not going to get these numbers, without an email list. And I'm not even saying your email list has to be very big. I made that 126,000. I think I had about 5,000 people on my email list, and took 3 years to get there, right? It'll be a snowball effect. But when I want to tell a little bit of a story, and I promise this has to do with email. And y'all, I'm very 90s themed. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is one of my favorite shows, and Will Smith is a childhood hero. And he tells this story about, his dad bought a warehouse, right? And he said, oh, son, we got to rebuild this one wall. And so Will, his dad, and his brother, they're rebuilding this wall brick by brick. He looks up at his dad one day and he says, Dad, this is an impossible task. The wall is gone. Forget it, man. Wow. We cannot build this wall. And his dad picks up a brick and he says, son, we are not building a wall. You don't build a wall. You just lay one brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid, and soon you'll have a wall. And he shares that story and how he got to be the big success. He said, everybody's trying to build a wall. I'm just trying to lay a brick. I'm working on one film at a time, one scene at a time. And so in your email marketing, in your business, you're not trying to get to the, 6-figure in a month launch. You're just trying to lay those bricks. And what are the first bricks you've got to lay? Baby, it's your welcome sequence, okay? You have to have, and I don't like to tell people what to do. I mean, we've been saying like, do your own thing, right? But if you're going to do email, there's just no way around it. You have to welcome people in a certain way. You have to make sure that they know what they're signing up for. The same way Kylie, every single time she has a podcast episode, she's talking about, today we're going to interview Liz Wilcox. She's the Fresh Princess of Email. We're going to talk about XYZ. She's setting the scene for you, right? We are going to set the scene for our email list. This is the biggest mistake I see people making, and it's the number one thing you need to do. So make sure you have a proper welcome sequence that guides people, shows them your personality. You share your vision for your clients or your students. What is it you really want for them? Share that right off the bat, and also share a bit of your values so people know, like, yes, I'm 100% in alignment. Kylie is the one for me. Let's go. You know what I mean?
And I love how you lay it out. And I'm not gonna give away the farm, because if you want it, you guys gotta tap in and get the membership. But how many emails do you recommend that we do, and like kind of like a brief overview of that format?
Yeah, I have no problem giving away the farm. So I'll tell you. So what I recommend when you're starting out is just 4 really simple, short, to the point emails, just 4 emails. That first email, just go ahead, deliver the freebie or whatever you promised them, like for signing up, deliver that, and then do a quick intro. And this is where you can inject a little bit of that personality I was talking about and your vision. And I want to emphasize the vision, because it's like, you raise your hand if you've seen Forrest Gump, when everyone's blindly running behind him, and they're, he turns around, he's like, well, I think I'll go home now. That would have started a riot in the real world. That's movie magic, baby. That's not the real world. No one is going to follow you blindly. You have to know where they're going. So right in that first email, say exactly what you want for them. For me, it's make money with email. I don't care about your Instagram following, love podcasts, but that's not my bag, baby. You know what I mean? I care about email only. And so in that first email, say, as much as I love the 90s, right? Inject a little bit of your personality, whatever that is. As much as I love the 90s, I love the idea of you making money with email even more. Suddenly, I've given you a taste of my personality, and I share exactly what the heck is going to happen when you're on this email list. We are going to work to make sure your emails work for you, right? Yeah. So share that in the first email. The second one, just share some best content, right? If you've got an amazing Instagram reel you wish everybody would see, or you spend a lot of time on this blog post, or maybe you just want to spend 2 minutes typing out your number 1 tip, whatever that is, email number 2. Email number 3, and I wish I had my sound effects on. Ding, ding, ding. If you do nothing else from this podcast, please do this. This is the email where you set expectations. When you're on this email list, I'm going to email you on Tuesdays. I'm going to share tips on XYZ. And here's the ding ding of the ding ding. I'm going to offer you free and paid products to help you with blue blah blah, right? Yeah. And you can't see Kylie, but she just was like that part right there. You have to tell people, especially if they're coming from a freebie, we've got to switch that expectation from, oh, Kylie just gives us all this free goodness and I'm never going to be burnt out ever because she's just going to give me everything, right? Well, that's going to cause burnout. Amen, right?
Yes.
And so we need to tell people right up front, we're going to offer you some paid products too. And then that 4th email is where we can get a little more into why we do what we do and why we're the right person for them. So those are the 4 emails. Like Kylie said, you can get those already written for you if you go to my website. So don't worry if, I know I was talking fast. You're probably doing something else. I know you're not sitting at your desk taking notes. We'll get to that in a minute.
I love it. I love it. And the thing that I love the most about the welcome sequence training, because you just did one recently and you're always helping us. And there's so many other trainings in the membership as well, like sales sequences. There's even a podcast sequence. If you've been on a podcast, like you give us emails for that. There are so many email templates what it's not in the portal, right? In the portal.
Portal, dashboard, when you log in, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you're not like in a platform, right? You built it on your own site. And like what do you always say? It's a $9 membership, baby. Like
yeah, so just when you join, if you decide now's the time, my membership was built in WordPress, and let this be inspiration. When I started the membership, it was in Google Drive. Y'all, please don't burn yourself out trying to pick a tool. Just go with you go with what's fun and efficient. For me, it was like, sister, here's the link. Here's the Google Drive link for this week. And once I got enough templates, it wasn't until the membership was 13 months old and I had 1,100 members did I say, okay, I think I should probably put this in an actual like portal, because there are people starting to cancel, but they still have the links. I should probably put this behind a paywall. But I mean, that took me 13 months to say, don't let not having money for a tool stop you from doing what you think is the next best step for you. And so, yeah, mine's on WordPress, and some of the features, I'm not going to say they're wonky, but it's not as intuitive as if I was spending, $500 a month, right? The membership was built on all free plugins, and it cost me $500 to get set up with a friend helped me with it. But anyway, I like to say, if somebody requests a feature, of course I take it seriously. I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder if we could do that. That's a great idea. But I say, oh, thanks for your patience while we figure this out, and allow us to continue keeping it at an affordable rate. Because it's very important to me to keep the $9 price tag. It's very important to me that the membership doesn't start to cost a lot of money, because I love this $9 price tag. I love being able to be accessible to people and countries that normally are a little gate kept. So it's really important to me to keep it very simple for my own burnout and for the benefit of reaching a bigger audience.
I love that. And the part that I like when you say that it's just a $9 membership is it takes the pressure off, right? It's like it's only $9, and as far as like the owner of the membership, right, it's like it takes the pressure off of having to like feel like you're so I don't say obligated, but to these people who are paying you gobs and gobs of money, because that's where I was when I was doing a lot of the project management work, and I was the business manager of a lot of businesses. It felt like so heavy and so much pressure, and I'm like, no thanks. Like I left corporate that had a lot of pressure to start my own business because I wanted to help people. It just felt like all of that weight and all of that responsibility was falling back in on my shoulders. And I said, no, thank you. And so this past year, I refreshed my business model, and I'm like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. And it was so freeing. And like going back to like, if it's not fun, it won't get done. And that's the whole reason why I started doing the burnout archetypes, because I'm a personality test junkie. I took all of them. I just recently attended a training on another new personality type by Ken Blanchard, and I was like, oh wow. But the thing with the personality types for me is I see the patterns in behaviors, and I'm like, okay, they're calling it this thing, and it relates to this other personality type and this other archetype and quiz, and relating it back to email marketing and your membership. How I look at, and that's how I use your membership. It's like, oh, okay, I see this main pattern here, and I see how these other two people's businesses and how they've used it. How can I make it fit mine? That's just me. I'm a pattern. I study patterns, and I've studied patterns my whole life. I think, I think it's part of being an empath, like learning, like studying people and understanding how they move, how they are. I mean, that's part of my codependency. You can read about that in my book, but like codependency and growing up, and just being around like in abusive environments, you have to learn, you have to read the room, you have to kind of acclimate to that. And so all of that to say, like the personality types and how you run your business, it's really like, if it's not fun, it won't get done. I want to just, I keep emphasizing that because I want people to understand why the archetypes are there, why I created it. It says I want people to understand who they are, like how they operate and how they relate to the other people around them, so that business can be fun. You know, whether you're working by yourself or whether you have a team, how we, you know, relate to the other people on our team, or even like if you're a solopreneur and you have kids, right? How do you relate to your kids so that they give you this free space that you need? And how do you know, be an effective parent while also being an effective business owner? There's so many ways that you can use the archetype, just like there are so many ways that you can use, you know, the emails in Liz's membership. So I know we keep talking about the membership. So if you want to join the membership, like I said, it's only $9. I'm going to leave the link. It's my affiliate link. So I'm going to leave my affiliate link to Liz's membership in the show notes. And before we head out today, is there anything you want to leave with the audience today? And, you know, like where can they find you online and all of that fun stuff?
Yeah. So just to bring it full circle,
Yeah.
as far as, you know, why I started with email and why I think you should give it a try as well, was again that it just seemed very efficient. You know, when they told me for every dollar I spend with email, I can get $40 in return, I was like, dang it, I've got to figure this out. Right. And so if you're, you know, in that kind of content churn, burnout, I don't know how to reach people, I don't know how to make those real connections so I can start to figure out what my products should be or why they're not selling, or, you know, things like that, I highly recommend just giving email a try. And you know, if you're like, okay, Liz, but where do I start? I'd love for you to join the membership, of course, but you don't have to. You can actually get all those welcome templates for free. You can just go directly to lizwilcox.com. In the top right-hand corner, there's a hot pink button. You cannot miss it. Just click there. You're going to get all 4 of those emails already templatized for you. You're also going to get 3 newsletter examples so you can see how to continue the conversation. And those newsletter examples come directly from that membership. So if you're like, I mean, I know Kylie keeps raving about this, but, you know, I got to see it to believe it. Those templates are directly in the freebie. One to show you how to get people to click, another to show you how to get people to reply, and the third to show you how to get people to buy directly from your newsletter. And if that's not enough, if you're like Kylie and writing from scratch totally sucks, you can get 52 subject lines all for free. LizWilcox.com, hot pink button. You can't miss it. And I can't wait to see what you do with email this year.
Yeah. And oh, she also has a Facebook group. Man, that Facebook group is also bomb. I'll drop a link to the Facebook group in the show notes as well, because there's so many people in there just talking about email marketing, and not only email marketing, but just online business stuff in general. Because I know I've popped into the group to answer a few questions, things that I know something about. And I just love all the people inside of the Facebook group and inside of the membership, because everyone's so fun. I mean, look at Liz, right? If you're attracted to Liz and how she shows up in the world, you know, all the people that are following her RV down the road are fun as well. Oh my gosh. Thank you again, Liz, for being here today. Oh, I can't wait for the people to get the welcome sequence template because it is going to be a game changer. And like I've been through it. I'm in the process of rewriting mine. And like I said, Liz makes email writing so easy. Even someone like me who's been avoiding copywriting for a long, long time, like, right? $9. I don't even know how I found you or who I found you from, but like $9. Let me try it out. And I was like, oh, not bad. And even my assistants have told me like, wow, you rolled that really quickly. Because it used to take me forever to give them the draft of the weekly email to send out. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. They're like, you did it already? I'm like, yeah, I did it already. Like that's how much, and that's why I'm so adamant about like shouting this from the rooftops that email can be easy and fun even if you hate it like I did.
All right. I think I love that. Thank you. And thank you for listening. I really am excited about email. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you everyone, and we'll see you back again for another episode. Bye.